nothing that is helping us create jobs for our kids to keep them at home. And I appreciate Mr. Pierce for actually starting this process and talking about this issue, because it needs desperately to be addressed. I yield back.
I thank the gentleman. The Senate, Senator Hatch is going to introduce this week the West Act, which is a combined 10 bills that we have previously sent from the House of Representatives. They're sitting dormant, drawing dust in the Senate, and so he's going to lump them together and push them out. Those are a part of our Jobs Frontier report, and those acts do things like H.R. 1229, putting the Gulf Back to Work Act. That's by Representative Hastings. H.R. 1230, Restarting America Offshore Leasing Now Act by, again, Mr. Hastings. H.R. 1231, Reversing President Obama's Offshore Moratorium Act. H.R. 2021, the Jobs and Energy Permitting Act, and that's by Mr. Gardner from Colorado. H.R. 1837, the San Joaquin Valley Water Reliability Act by Mr. Nunez of California. H.R. 872, Reducing Regulatory Burdens Act by Mr. Gibbs. H.R. 1633, the Farm Dust Prevention Act by Ms. Noem. And finally, H.R. 910, the Energy Tax Prevention Act by Mr. Upton. Now, I mean, just talking among friends, I would feel that the Secretary of Interior exposes a little bit of thin skin. These are credible debates that we're having in America right now, whether we should use foreign oil or oil produced in this country, whether we should export our jobs overseas to produce energy, or whether we should get them here. So I read where Mr. Salazar says that the fact is most of the Outer Continental Shelf resources are open for business, he says. Well, then give us the nod, and we'll simply pass those first three bills, putting the Gulf Back to Work Act, Restarting America Offshore Leasing Now, Reversing President Obama's Offshore Moratorium. If it's already the case, then just humor us, nod your head, nothing will be changed since it's already open for business, and just, if this President would tell the Senate to go ahead and pass just those three bills, we could send them up to the President. We could have plenty of jobs starting out, plenty of American production. Again, I would look back at the price of natural gas. When the administration says that you can't drill and come with lower prices, the price of natural gas a couple of years ago was in the $12 range. Today, the price is about $2.50. Now, what caused the price to go from 12 to 2? When the price is going up, the President says, I need $52 million to control those speculators that are driving the price up. But when the price goes down, somehow he's not saying we need to give you $52 million back because now those speculators are driving the price down. He doesn't. This view of energy in the White House, originating with the Secretary of the Interior, somehow doesn't get the fact that the reason price of natural gas has fallen from 12 to 2, and that's a very steep decline, is because we have drilled our way into lower prices. We've increased the supply enough through more jobs and more production that world demand is kind of swamped with the supply. It's, again, an economic equation of supply and demand. I think that's the greater impact in the price of gasoline today, the supply and demand of oil, and the supply and demand of natural gas controls that. We have drilled our way to success in natural gas because companies went everywhere drilling on private lands. But now then, the administration is saying we need to curtail all that production here because it's not going to lower the price. We need to control the speculators. These are simply inconsistencies that are punishing the American public. They're punishing the American public, and especially the poor in the American public, by higher gasoline prices, by higher electricity costs. It's making it to where families just can't get by, to where they can't make the payments for the month. And poor families everywhere are having to make choices to buy energy or to live in cold, live without air conditioning, to not be able to drive and see their grandkids. What kind of choices are those? Those are not the choices that I think most Americans want. I think most Americans like our lifestyle. Our lifestyle is based on two dominant things: the cost of food and the cost of energy. And when we drive both of those costs up through overregulation, through government limitations, then we're doing a disservice to the American public. Every single person in America wants to see our land protected. They want to see the workers protected. They want to see soil, water, and air protected. But they also are desperate to see jobs